Well, I think it's fair to say it's been a crazy week for me, especially over on Instagram. I had a video that has got over 11 million views. I'm really enjoying doing my reels and getting stuck into the creativity of those. So if you want to go and check me out on Instagram and you're not already, make sure you head over there. It's just at Ali Gordon, nice and simple. Last night, Lydia was just about to go out with Porter and she had a flat tire on the Range Rover. So it's my job today to get that tire fixed. So it's been a very long time since I've done this, but I'm gonna get stuck in and I'm gonna try and change the wheel over to the spare one. So we're gonna do that in a second. But I've been out this morning, had a fresh trim from Greg. It's really nice to go back into a barber's. I've been at Unity Barbers this morning, got that done. I then popped in to see the guys at Suster and Hicks in Woburn. We're currently going through the process of making some made to measure pieces for my summer wardrobe. That includes some shoes, some trousers, a deconstructed jacket, and we're also talking about some other items as well. So make sure you stay tuned on that topic because we've got some really exciting things coming this way. I actually tried on the chinos today that we've been putting together and the color is just so nice. And also the jacket actually as well. The jacket is a color that I've not got in my wardrobe already and it's such a beautiful color to transition from both summer to autumn. And you'll know what I mean when I show you, but I've seen the jacket styled up with some really beautiful cream knits and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. And of course, it's all designed to fit spot on, but we're gonna get outside now because there has been a little break in the weather. All last week and actually the week before that and potentially next week as well, we've been getting some downpours and I'm so here for it. The garden is thriving, the grass is growing, in particular, the grass around the greenhouse is doing really, really well. So I'm very, very happy. It actually needs a cut out there. I've just allowed it to just grow a little bit wild because I want to just get as much growth as possible. But I think it could do with a little bit of a trim to promote some more growth as well. So yeah, that's all going very well. But the sun is out today and it's actually pretty mild, which is lovely because I'm just about to get on the drive and change that wheel over. It's been a while since I've done this. Well, we're rolling deep with a spare tyre. Just a little tip actually, if you ever have to change over a tyre, I was always told that hand tighten up all of your bolts and then actually tighten them up in opposites. So let's just say we decided to tighten this bolt here first. Don't go and tighten this one, you should go straight opposite and then again tighten this one, then across to here and then back to there. It's to do with making sure that you try to keep the alignment of the wheel right, so you don't tighten it up slightly skew-if because otherwise you obviously risk loosening and the tyre falling off. So it just ensures that the wheel is completely parallel with the disc at the back. So tighten in opposites, just like that. A little bit worried actually about this tyre. Could be the valve's gone, but there isn't any evidence of nails or screws or anything that could have caused the puncture. You'd normally see it in the wheel. So it'll be interesting to see what the guys say when they go and take a look at it. But I'm going to go and take it to a garage now to see if they can sort this out for us. There's some good tread still left on here, so I hope we don't need a new tyre, but we shall see. Well, absolutely no messing around today. They're very, very busy at the workshop. So the perk of taking off your own wheel is that I was able to just drop the wheel off. I told him, get it back to me whenever you like, mate. No rush. I've got the spare on, serving me well. So he's going to see what he finds and dropped him a number. He'll give me a call, let me know whether it's a new tyre or a repair job. But whilst I'm out, I'm close to a supermarket, and Lumi has decided that she's going to be very particular about her food. So no shock, but she's changed her diet requirements. So I'm going to go to the shop and pick her up some of the food that she's currently into at this moment. It will be very different next month. She's very, very fussy, our Lumi. So I'm going to quickly grab that whilst I'm here, head back home, and then I'm going to have a chat with Lydia. I'm either going to help her film a reels, which is always funny, or I'm going to get out in the garden and maybe mow the lawn. At the same time, I'll give you a little update on the growth, because there's been some fantastic growth. Far from perfect, but great growth. Well, that sky is not looking too great for mowing the lawn this afternoon, is it? Just had a little shower, but as you can see, we're in desperate need of a little trim, so I still might go out there if it doesn't rain too much more. But if it does, it's going to be a little bit too wet. Lydia has just called me into the bathroom. I love it.
Yeah, same. And also,
let me hold it up actually for you to.
Also, it works so well because this is a Provence apothecary cabinet, and we've got the antique Provence print there.
Amazing.
It's not print, it's an oil like artwork. Instantly I put it up and it looks so bright above here.
Yeah, the colours.
Yeah, even like the colours go nicely with that.
Really?
Hold on, let me just move this lovely towel. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it used to be about there.
Yeah, same. And do you know what? It will be handy for keeping other beauty products in.
Yeah, absolutely. There.
Yeah, I love it.
So the handle's at my nose height.
Yeah, I love that.
Want me turning it? Or do you want to wait?
If you're in a handy mood,
Well, I was going to go mow the lawn, but we're having a little shower. So
yeah, and I'm going to change over that ottoman to the rattan basket. The rattan basket.
Oh yeah,
that we said.
Absolutely. I'm going to get my tool basket then.
Yeah, I just want to start like getting things a bit more.
Okay, I'm going to hold it up and you tell me if you think it looks middleish. Amazing.
Nice, huh?
Yeah. You think that looks about right where I marked it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Cabinet's up. As you might have seen, the paint just blew out just a little bit around where the fixing is. This is a freshly plastered wall. If some of you may remember, when we were doing the renovations, this all got plastered in here. Unfortunately, that does often mean that when you put plasterboard fixings in the wall, sometimes pulls it off, just pops off that thin layer. It's exactly what it's done. So I'm just going to get a little bit of filler, and I'm just going to fill around there, and then I'll just patch it in with a little bit of paint, but it looks lovely. Smashing job. Just kind of ties in this area a little bit more. Good times. Good purchase from Lids. I've just heard back from the guy, and it's £280 for a new tyre. Apparently there's an actual hole in the side of it. I couldn't see that, but I also couldn't see a nail. So it is what it is, and that's going to be fixed and replaced tomorrow. So I'm going to have to pop there tomorrow afternoon to pick it up. At least we know where we stand with that. So tyre's being mended. I've just finished off filling the little bit of chipped paintwork in there. I'll come back later and give that a couple of coats of paint, so that's in progress. The rain's held off, but it still kind of looks like it's gonna rain. So I'm gonna go out and cut the lawn, and then once I've cut the lawn, I'll quickly show you where we're at with the current grass growth. I'm hoping that the ride-on lawnmower isn't gonna sink too much into the ground because we've had so much rain. I'm a bit worried that it might be a little bit squidgy out there. Olive tree, by the way, is going very strong. It's looking good. I've been watering it every couple of days and it's starting to fill out. I want to create a little bit of density within it. So it's making great progress. It recovered well after its shock. Porter keeps it on guard every day for me. Don't you, mate? Yeah? Porter lost his virginity the other day. It was quite a eventful evening, wasn't it, my boy? Well, as you can probably see, it got a little bit wet out there, but we got it done, and without too much damage to the grass. There was a couple of areas where I'd really packed on the topsoil that sunk a little bit. It was kind of expected. I stayed off the area around the greenhouse. The grass isn't established enough anyway really to be cut yet, and also I just know that that's going to really fall in, so I'd rather go over that with the push mower rather than the ride-on. But it's looking a lot tidier out here now. You can see that the grass is starting to green up, and we've got rid of a lot of the moss. There's still a huge amount of clover. That's another challenge altogether. I'm going to have to do some serious scarifying and weed treatment on this. But yeah, happy days, one task done. And when it calms down a little bit outside, because I think we're going to get another shower any second, I'll take you out and I'll show you the progress so far. A little bit of blue sky, steady on. Oh, looks like Porter's curling one up as well in the bottom right corner. Sorry mate, long film. Well, I'm feeling very refreshed after that shower, but the sun has come out, as you can see, so I thought I'll quickly show you where we're at with the grass. So as you can see, there's still a little bit of patchiness throughout, but in general there's reasonable coverage now that goes across, and it's really nice in some areas. It's quite nice and fine still, but as this ages it'll obviously thicken up. And then over down the side of the greenhouse area. Hello my boy, hello. We have growth, as you can see it coming down into the woodland as well. It's like really spread out, which is fantastic. We need to decide how we're going to edge this off, because I was saying to Lydia I might create a little bit of a curve, get some edging, maybe some more wooden planks and fit them in and see. And then we also need to stick some bark down on top of this. As you know, I started to try and seed this area, then turn it over again, but obviously the grass seeds were in at that point, so we have got some grass trying to grow in Lydia's bed, but a little bit of bark will help suppress that down a little bit. I also added some more of these little lights from Amazon into the bed, so we've got I think 7 in here in total. 1, 2, and we've got one in the middle over there, and then this is the lawn in the back garden. This area is actually done pretty well, because there used to be a huge gap there and it's really taken nicely here. And then this section is also not doing too badly, starting to come together, but again it is a little bit patchy, but it's twice as good as it was before, which is great stuff. And also, as you can see, it's a lot less sort of infested with weeds here and clover, because this is obviously a new section, so this isn't looking too bad, although there was a little bit of wildflower in here that I cut out. I don't know if you remember this section over here, but this was really bad. This was like a huge moss patch. Managed to get this grass to growing here, which is great. I'm going to seed and soil this section here and that section over there, because that's where some big bits of moss died down. And in general, we've just got a lot of clover that needs to be taken out, but it is looking a lot better, and these things don't happen overnight, do they? You can take a look at the back section as well. So you'll remember when I was soiling this over here, this is actually still quite a way from coming through, but it has started to thicken up around the sort of main area, and then there has got a little bit of growth, so this might take a little bit longer, but I've got a good feeling this is going to come through very soon. And then this whole section at the back here was pretty awful. I put some shady seeds down here and they've taken really well. Still a few little areas that need to have some more growth, but a lot of this area over here is really improved, which is fantastic. I don't even remember, but when you used to look down this line here, it was pretty bad with moss, and it's not great, but it's a lot better now. So the rain has served us very, very well with the extra seeding and topsoil. In some areas it's just lovely. Lydia was speaking to me the other day and she was saying, what is it with guys and their fascination with lawns? And it's so funny because I've been watching some of my friends' stories on Instagram and they're out there mowing their lawns, taking pictures of their lawns. And I don't know what it is. When I was growing up, my dad, he used to take a lot of pride in his lawn. And when I see my neighbours out in the garden, it's always the men that are cutting the lawn. I don't know if that's something that's ingrained in us or whether there's something to do with grass that fascinates men. Is there kind of science behind this? But yeah, having a nice lawn is something that I feel a lot of men take a lot of pride with. Now, that is not to say that women don't take a lot of pride in their lawns, because I'm sure they absolutely do. But amongst my circle of friends, in my opinion, it tends to be a lot of guys that are very obsessed with their lawns. Not so much the flower beds and all the other aspects of the garden, just the lawn. It was so nice to see the sun out after a couple of weeks of rain. I also jet washed this patio as well, actually. I did that over the weekend, so brought out the coping stones again, which is lovely, so they look nice and tidy. Gave the table and chair set a nice little jet wash down as well. Hydrangea Annabelles. I need to start moving. Look how long you're getting. You're a big boy. Don't know if I vlogged this actually. This tree here, I also took the ivy off of. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 now that I've done. I've taken the bottom off of that one, but I need to get onto the canopy, the oak tree. I've cut back 2 over there, and I've cut back this one here has been cut back as well. I'm going to take on that beast there, but I'm going to wait until it's a lovely sunny day to do that, because it's not very nice when it's raining. I did this one in the rain and it was pretty horrendous, but oh my god, it looks so much better for it. Now, in my last video I was talking about how the cow parsley is really starting to grow. Well, it's currently at around about 5 foot. Insane. I mean, some of it's like 6 foot high. That bit there, that's about 6 foot. Come on, start to grow. The sounds of the woodland, very peaceful. Here he comes. Well, it's a nice relaxing Sunday today, just taking it easy. Weather's a little bit up and down, so I'm going to be spending it in the living room watching the Monaco Grand Prix, where Leclerc from Ferrari has just been removed from first, from pole position, because they have some issues with the gearbox, which meant that he's out of the race completely. So it's very, very sad for Ferrari and Charles Leclerc, but these things happen. Lewis is currently sitting in 7th, now 6th. It'll be interesting to see how he climbs up. I remember when we were there in 2016, and I actually got the opportunity to interview Lewis Hamilton after he had won the Monaco Grand Prix on a boat. It was just insane. So I've been flicking through my phone looking at those old memories from back in 2016 when we were out there watching it. For me, this is one of the most iconic Formula 1 races. Monaco is just such a aesthetically pleasing track, and it's just so tight and quite tricky as well for the drivers. I'm going to sit down and enjoy the Formula 1 today, and then maybe I might cook some kind of Sunday roast.
But he closed it off well. Did the Dutchman, who continues on to lead. We have high hopes this afternoon of the first lap led by a non-Red Bull or Mercedes car in 2021. Charles Leclerc not starting the race.
So I've just got the dinner on. We are having chicken enchiladas this evening with asparagus, because I forgot I'd cooked our roast potatoes in the week, so we didn't have any roasties, so you can't do a roast without roasties, can you? So a little change of plan there, but every other week I go out and I feed the wisteria with a seaweed solution, and I also feed the rose bushes with a tonic. So I'm gonna go out there now, even though it's a little bit raining. I've got a few minutes until dinner's gonna be ready, so I'm gonna quickly nip out and go around and feed all of the plants, with the hope that they're going to thrive this year. I don't know if Liz and I spoke about this before, but last year I had set the irrigation up wrong for the beds around the house, and so the water was only coming on like 15 minutes a day, and it just wasn't enough for all of the plants that were in there. We didn't get the best show of flowering, so this year we've made sure that we've got everything set up for them to kind of thrive as best as possible, and then on top of that we're also feeding it, which should really help encourage that growth. So I'm hoping that this summer we're going to see our gardening at its peak in comparison to previous years, albeit we have obviously just had a lot of new stuff put in, which means that they've got time to establish, but you get what I mean. So Liz is busy watching the football in the lounge.
No, I am not. I've just downloaded a new book.
Have you?
Yes.
Who won?
I have no idea. I had to mute it. It's such a racket.
What do you mean?
It's such a racket.
What, people playing football?
Yeah.
Looks like Man City won.
Who played?
It depends what game you're watching. Liverpool were playing earlier. I think Man City were playing Everton. Everton.
I have no idea. But no, I just downloaded a new book.
Okay. Right, let's get outside and get busy before dinner is served. So this is the plant growth stimulant that I use on the wisteria, and this is obviously to promote that growth and hopefully to encourage flowering, although we aren't expecting to get flowers on these wisterias for a very long time, and when we do, we don't expect them to perform that well, because I think these are facing more towards the north, and I think that they thrive a little bit better when they're south facing, something like that. This is just to sort of like help them establish a little bit more, grow a little bit faster, and hopefully flower. And then for the roses, we use the Uncle Tom's Rose Tonic. You just use like 1 part by 100, and again, I just go around and just give all of the rose plants a little sprinkle in the hope that plant's going to flower and bud really well. And also, I'm not sure if it will help, but it would be nice if it helped the longevity. I'm not sure whether that comes from the maturity of the plant or whether that comes from the health of the plant, but I did notice last year that a lot of the rose heads were quite heavy and they would fall down and fall off, and they were probably reproducing heads every kind of week or two, and so it would be nice if it just held onto them for a little bit longer. So yeah, Uncle Tom's Rose Tonic and also Maxi Crop Seaweed. Both of these you can buy on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box if anyone's interested. So yeah, I've already filled up my watering can just here. So I'm going to work my way around and get everything fed.
It's delicious, babe.
Is it? Oh, good. There you go, chicken enchiladas with a ginger beer to wash it down. So into my ginger beer at the minute. Big up the ginger beer crew. You like having low windows, don't you, mate, so you can see out? Very nice. Just received a couple of non-alcoholic bottles of spiced caned spirit, which would be the equivalent of having a rum, which is pretty cool. And this is the bittersweet aperitif. They're from Anon, and I think they're lovely to have around the house for when you have guests over that are either designated drivers or they just simply don't drink alcohol, and you can offer them a beverage to join in with anybody else that is drinking. They can still feel very much a part of that atmosphere. And of course, I'll be trying them myself. They were very kindly sent out for me to try, and I think the bottles look really cool as well. I'd probably pair the spiced caned spirit up with a Coke, and I'd probably have the aperitif as like a spritz or even a Negroni. So there's a few options here, you can play around with them. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, thought I'd share it with you because I feel like it's a growing trend to have non-alcoholic beverages. The beer sector is getting so good at non-alcoholic beers. It's getting to the point where I can't even tell you whether it's non-alcoholic, like they're getting so good. I just think they're a great alternative because Probably, like me, many of you actually really enjoy the taste of alcoholic beverages, but we don't always want the side effects of drinking alcohol. So I think that's a lovely way of sort of getting your hit without basically getting drunk. So yeah, these are my latest additions to the bar collection, which are non-alcoholic beverages. Well, what a weekend of sport. I haven't started my week off quite as exciting. This morning I went to the dentist and had a crown fitted. I had a filling about 3 months ago and it was sensitive ever since, and it turns out there was actually a little crack in the tooth, so it was just getting more and more sensitive as time went on, and got to the point where I actually haven't been able to eat on this side of my mouth for probably about 2 months, to be fair, because it was just agony. So I've got a crown on at the moment, which is technically a temp, because in a couple of weeks I'll go back and have the proper crown fitted, but it's supposed to just hold off the pain anymore. And yeah, I currently have a numb face. It's like at that really awkward point that you can't quite feel your chew, if that makes sense. So when you're trying to eat food, you don't know how hard you are or are not biting, and you're petrified of biting your cheek or your tongue, so you're just like eating really strangely. But I've just been keeping it over this side. So yeah, that was the start of my week, which was, in all fairness, pretty good. It went well and it wasn't too painful, so that's that done. But I've got a pretty busy week this week. I'm actually heading down to London this week for a shirt fitting. I've got a shoot in a studio for Boss, so that's going to be really good. And I'm also going to be heading to Suster & Hicks to do my balancing fit, which is basically the last fit where you take the items away, so that will be nice as well. And I'm gonna try and squeeze in a little bit of golf. So yeah, it's gonna be a very busy one next week, and of course I'll be vlogging it all. So I thought this would be a good time to wrap up this week's video, because I don't intend on doing much today, because I'm just gonna let my face recover as it's currently half numb. But thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this one, and anything that I referenced in the video I'll try and link below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.